Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So tonight is a very simple question. Are you liking Rory Gibson as new Michael on General Hospital? And me personally, he's killing it. Okay? I'm gonna stand on 10 toes down and say that he is the Michael that we deserved and we've been waiting for. But I want to sit there and know from the audience. Now let's sit there and get in the roll calls because we got a lot to talk about. Freddy's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Ryan, KGH fans in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat. How you doing tonight? At the bank is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Crystal is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Tommy is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Susan R is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Now, before we get started, just want to sit there and give a special special birthday shout out to Janet Z, aka Queen Janet. Now, you know how I'm going to sit there and be doing this. Okay? Sit there and say it all the time. And my friend Freddie's going to sit there and address it. Albert is only one person. He will not get through every comment. Let us be patient with him and enjoy tonight's stream. Thank you. Tanya is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Eagle Fang is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Now, Ryan says, I'm doing good, Black Man. I was off from work today, so I'm actually very happy. I'm good, Tommy. How was your day? Ryan says it's funny because I told myself I wouldn't like anyone but chat in the role, but you're right, Rory Gibson is killing it. Yeah, see? And Ryan, he's a fan of chat, and I get that. And I did a good job. But Rory is also doing a good job, and I think that's something that should be acknowledged. It doesn't take anything away from Chad. It just, adds something else. Eagle says Lois really justified in deflecting her actions really off with the watch her today. Lulu looked like she's about to get hers tomorrow. She should have listened to Carly. She should have listened to Carly. She should have listened to Brooklyn. She should have listened to Laura. She should have listened to her own damn mama. Okay, well, it's good to have you in here. It's good to have you in here, Freddie. And Tommy, what you thought of the Young and Restless today? What am I doing? Hold on, let's try to see it. Where the hell's my damn music at? Where's up? Is my music? All right, cool. There we go. Dolometics is in the chat. How you doing tonight? And Rihanna's in the chat. How you doing tonight? I did see the new Mission Impossible. Did you like it? What did you thought of it? Well, to be fair, Ryan, she did actually say that she pretty much said that she was a coward in general. And now she has a loophole for not having to tell the truth. That's right. It is Janet's birthday. So I hope she had an amazing day. Oh, she does get to sit there and see the polls. Ron, were you surprised at Crystal's reaction when EG told her? No, I know that she has history. And Krista, hey, long time no see. I just came to say hello and answer the question. Krista G is in the chat. It's good to see you. It's been a hot minute. I hope you have been well. Yeah, that's what I said. She said it herself. But yes, Krista, so what's your verdict? Are you liking the new Michael so far? Chelsea not making peace with her dad. She has all this anger. I'm not justifying Haley cheating, Bill wanted a relationship with his daughter. Yes. Solomon is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Autumn says Nina's full of crap because we both know if Nina used what she knew about Sasha and Michael, she forget that Sasha knows about her and Drew. Sasha can be. Yes, you're correct. You're correct. Yes. What's good, Sean? Miranda says I didn't like it. The last I was like, oh crap. Yeah. And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm rethinking planes. Yeah. Um, you know, I'll just sit there and say this much, Ariana. By the ending, do you think like I know he said it's over, but by the ending, do you feel that do you feel like it's over? Do you feel like, you know, they can keep going with the movies? Sean says Sasha will finally see Nina. Never cared about her. Can't wait when puts in her place. Patty Patty. Krista says yes. Not only like Rory as Michael, I love him as Michael. Oh, okay. Michael Corento's quarter. What's good, Island? As says I hate how everybody keep getting in the way. Every time Dante was holding Brooklyn feet to the fire, still wish his reaction was bigger. Yes. Mhm. And Island says yes, Rory's doing a good job. Yeah. Tommy says Chelsea's doing too much. She is definitely doing too much. But that's how Gen Z kids, that's how the Gen Z people tend to react. They generally tend to do too much. Talking about her being an orphan, I was like, all right, girl, you can calm down. Ron says, what's your thought on the Kate, Paulina, and Abe scene? I didn't really care for it. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care for it. Didn't really do anything for me. Autumn says, Ariana says, I think if they continue, they will pass the baton on to somebody else. I believe that the mission never ends as long as humanity keeps evolving. Yes, yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, because Tom is up there. Ariana, Tom is up there. Ed says, I saw Mission Impossible. I think it's over, but you never know. Daniel was on today. On what? You mean Daniel was on today, Sean? On what show are we talking about? But yes, Ariana. I think that so they so they left to continue or and he is he's 62. Oh, you asked me a question? I mean, no, I didn't see Daniel on today. I didn't know about tomorrow because I didn't watch tomorrow yet. But 62. That's out there to be doing all that stuff. Like I said, I enjoyed it. It was long, right? Like it was long. I think the problem with a movie being like 2 hours and 40 something minutes is that well, you gotta sit there and think of how long the actual the commercials and the previews and stuff like the previews is a half an hour. Right? So if that movie is about 2 hours and something minutes long, like 40 something minutes long. That means that you're sitting in a movie theater for like damn near 3 hours long. Like it's a long time. Solomon says, "Am I the only one who is extremely agitated about Martin and Smitty's kids? I think their scenes are cringe. It's just plain stupid to try and pass them off as children of the 230 years old. 230 years old, yeah. Um, I think their scenes just cringe in general. But yeah, no, it's their slang is it gets cringe, and it's not even because like when I look at Samantha, I don't see her as 30 something years old. I don't see her as a 30-year old, but I just see her as cringe though. Like Tyrell is just a goddamn weirdo, you know. Tommy says, "Why is Ty chase away a girl?" Oh, Tyrell, because he's insecure. Because he's insecure. I have to admit that Belle was making valid points when talking to Alex. She was right, saying that what Philip did was to make up for duping his brother. Yeah, but sometimes, hmm, I guess so. I don't even. I'm be honest. I don't even fully remember that scene that much. But he's still in pain. Though. He just said that his pain is manageable. You know, he says his pain is manageable. 179 says Rory is off to a good start, but too soon to make any definite evaluations. Re- You seriously not going to sit there and ask me about those questions from yesterday, right? Right, Ryan? Yes, I still do think that, yes, my opinion did not change from today to yesterday. Respectfully, Ryan. Domek says the Terrell thing didn't bother me too much. He was wrong, but I know the character is supposed to be socially awkward. Yeah, that's damn sure. That's for damn sure. Yes. Ariana says Michael isn't healed completely and has said by something he is manageable. No amount of pain is keeping him from his kids. Yeah. But the thing is, okay, now Ed says, I hate that Martin and Bill's scene was a dream. That was the best part of the episode. Yes. It was. And it's funny too, because I said in my review, it was like, they pulled the Twilight, you know? What's good? I'm out ahead. I'm liking the new Michael. My only thing is that he looks like he can play a high school student rather than someone in his mid 30s. Island says, do you think that Nina finding out about Sasha Baby will make a difference? Yes. Yes, it will. Because the thing is, she was sitting there thinking that she was going to have to tell the truth to get animals, to get Drew away from Willow. But now she doesn't have to do that. All she has to do is sit there and blackmail Michael into backing down, or she'll sit there and tell the truth. So yeah, no, it's definitely gonna sit there and make a difference. Yes, no, I get that, Ryan, and I saw that today. So yes, if that's what you're talking about, then yes. But you know, before they pulled that Hail Mary, which was smart of Michael to do, yeah. Before that, yeah, I would sit there and say that, and maybe it's not kidnapping, but Drew had a point. He didn't sit there and invite Jason to, um, inside of his. I mean, he didn't invite Jason inside of his house. Ron says, "What did Alex mean by that? If he knew what Philip and Kevin was up to, he would have confronted him." Meaning Kevin. How are you gonna confront someone you never met? I think he was just sitting there thinking like, He wished he could have did more, Ron. Like if he knew that's what they were up to, he would have tried to confront him and stop him. But it's a hindsight thing, right, Ron? Like if I knew that he was going to get hit by a car, then I would have sat there and tried to stop it. It's one of those things, Ron. It's more of a hindsight 2020 sort of thing. Aaron says Michael won't back down. Nina still has a dirty secret of her own. Yes. Donut says, have you been watching Hollywood lately? I know I shouldn't have, but I saw the UK clips today and they look good. No, I only saw Monday's episode. Um, and that's when like Frankie wakes up and she's still kind of out of it, and Vicky's there. So I only saw Monday's episode. I still get to watch today and tomorrow's episode, but hopefully I'm gonna watch it this weekend and we'll definitely talk about it. Gorgeous Queen Janet, happy birthday! I I made a post about it on my community tab. But yes, happy birthday, Janet. Let's everyone wish happy birthday to Janet. Romax says they're really hitting the climax on the human trafficking storyline with the shady cop. Yeah. Yeah. All I know is I saw something. What's good, Amber? All I know is I saw something where it said, "Who shot Banks?" Right? Who shot Banks? So that's going to be interesting. Yep, there we go. Happy birthday to gorgeous Queen Janet. As says Nina needs to come clean because using Sasha's secret isn't going to help. I see Sasha telling the truth if it means Michael keeps his kids, especially when she finds out if Nina is involved. I think it's going to put a huge strain on their relationship because what's good, Langston? I know, right? Jenna says group chat fam, and she thanks everyone. But that's the thing, though, Ed, it's going to definitely strain their relationship. So that's going to be interesting to follow. You know, Tomax says I watched all Who Shot Banks thing. It's the UK episode clip from today, but won't get the full episode until next week. Smith said, "Do you think the bartender would tell Jason Nina was asking?" It's possible. I mean, it depends. If he goes back in there, then yes. Gorgeous Queen, Cat Lady. But we won't get the full episode until next week. Oh yeah, because it's only what? What do you mean we won't get the full episode to next week? It's Oh, you know what? I didn't watch it today, so never mind. I know, right? Yes, Cat Lady. I said that in your review actually. I said that in your review. But I guess that makes sense because I didn't watch yesterday's episode and today. So yes, cat lady. I said that in a year review. Did I last year? And Ron says, Albert, when is you and cat lady wedding taking place? Solomon says, I must say I wasn't really impressed with new tech performance in his first week or so, but he's really beginning to grow on me now, and it hasn't even been a full month yet. I think he's doing a great job. Langston said the writers dropped Elon and Marcel storyline beyond the gates. The actor names are not even in credits. Queen of the South, how's your lovely queen doing tonight? It's good to see you. Oh, I didn't actually hit any of my goddamn notes. Alan says, interesting perspective. Sasha was being stupid, not wanting Michael in her baby's life. Both Sasha and Michael have been hurt because of shady dealings that their family engage in. I don't understand how. Well, of course, Queen. I gotta see how the Queen is doing. I just don't understand how Haley is just still being this much of an airhead, right? Like I don't get that. And we gotta talk about Ashley for a minute because I swear I feel like this. I didn't really care for it, Ron. To be honest, I don't know Carrie. That was before my time, so it didn't really do much for me, you know. Um, but it wasn't for me. It was for the old school people that been watching the show longer. So you know, that's fine. And Aaron says, I'll give it into next month until Smitty finds out more in secret because, you know, because I'm sick of the gaslighting. What I don't understand is, and I said this in my review, what was the point of, you know, kind of hinting at something going on with Martin with Smitty? That's his whole leverage right there. That's what you call his whole leverage. So I don't understand, like, if Smitty figured it out, then, like, well, you know, it's funny. It's funny, Cat Lady, because they did sit there and say, well, she did sit there and make a joke and say um, that we're a boring couple, right? We're a boring couple, and so you know, it would make sense that you forgot about them. But my whole thing is like Ashley is giving whiplash. You know, one minute she acts like she doesn't really want to, you know, commit to being in a relationship and moving in together. He's sitting there trying to give her back the key, and she's like, "No, you keep it." And then when he was talking about like the whole marriage and kids and stuff like that, and she kind of looked like she didn't want any of that. Then she's like, "Well, shouldn't we want that?" I'm like, "Well, 2 weeks ago, you were acting like you want nothing to do with it." And Dominic says, "Well, you missed out on Carrie. She used to slap Sammy and expose her schemes like it was her job in the '90s." Makes sense. I mean, yeah, but I think I was probably watching like One Life to Live at that time, so I mean, like I said, I missed out on a lot, Dominic, a lot. Dominic says the boring couple things has to be an outside joke from the right. Yes, exactly, and that's what I don't know if I actually said that, but yes, yes, I said the same exactly. I said the same thing. I don't know if I saw it in my review, but I said the same thing though. Oh, we got a new person in the chat. Starlight says, "Who you think is going to win, Cussy, Willow, Michael? Probably Michael. Probably Michael. Don't act such you missed out on those Incredibles '90s days years. That's when their ratings were so good. They were chasing Y&R. Wow. Hmm. Ed says I saw Carrie. I first saw Carrie when I started watching days back when Abby was 18, going out to Carrie's husband Austin when he was her teacher. Wow. That sounds like some soapy shit right there. Yeah, so and that's the thing, Ed. Going into that, Claire still sitting there talking about her stupid idea. Which, by the way, I know this is supposed to be comedy with Claire and the party planner, but like all those ideas that he had wasn't just trash. It was like, how are people sitting there talking about you so highly when you are coming up with the most acidine ideas I've ever heard in my entire life? I mean, only Claire only started to say something like, "Oh well, I think you should listen to my." I would have cut him off at the first time. Oh, she already sat there and seemed like she had an idea. So why is she sitting through a parade of shitty ass ideas? Kelly says he got the little cups tonight, folks. Frank must have skipped it. No, my love, I'm not. I didn't work today, and that's when I usually get the bigger cups. So since I was off, I had to get the smaller one, which I'm not happy about. But yeah, it is what it is. And don't sit there and say anything like that. What are you asking me, Ron? Don't sit there and say anything like, listen. I don't just because I don't think that Frank is the devil, and I don't accuse him of things just based off emotions like some people. Don't mean that we got some sort of dealing going on. You stop it, Callie. I'm gonna straighten your ass out. This. You come over here, I'm gonna straighten your ass out. Ron says, if you had to choose between Cat Lady and Candace Mack, who would you choose? I feel like, well, if you're asking me a question and then you're giving the answer, you're already giving an answer. So like, why'd you even ask me the question? So bad. Yes, Ron, it is one of Connie Vanesky's cups. Cat Lady, you stop it. You know I love you. Um, but yeah. Um, and then we gotta sit there and deal with Danny and this shit is not working. I feel like I'm yelling. I'll keep it on for a little bit. Um, yeah, her stupid ass idea, and I'm just like, yes, thank you, Ed. I don't, again, I don't understand why she wants to sit there and try to have this relationship with Naomi. Why she think that's going to be possible? Even Jacob was like, "Yo, listen, you really think that bygones are going to be bygones? After what you did?" And she's still just like, "Oh, well, time is going to heal all wounds." Like, what? Tommy says, "Do you?" Okay. Kelly says, "Why the hell did Big Mouth go tell her mama about the baby?" Yeah, I don't, because the thing is, I guess she didn't want her to get blindsided. My thing is though, she sat there and she acted though she well, she expected her not to have a meltdown, right? She was like, "Well, don't have a meltdown." After she told her that, she's like, "Don't have a meltdown." But I'm like, "Well, it's your mom. You know what she was gonna do." Also, the fact that she took 5 minutes to sit there and even get a word in inchwise was just insane. Yeah, sure. But that's the thing. It's like she's been playing this whole thing dumb, like the country club thing, and then getting upset when they don't want to serve her. I'm like, I just wouldn't go back. I wouldn't sit there. I mean, I'll be pissed off, but like, I'm not gonna go someplace where I don't feel like I'm welcome. And she kept going there multiple times. I'm like, yo, just go to Orphan Jeans. Like, what is the problem? She tries to get back in her good graces with Chelsea. She's been trying with Naomi. The first episode, she walks up to Danny like, "Well, can we just sit there and find some sort of peace of middle ground?" Like, girl, are you serious? Like, I don't understand why they not there playing her that stupid, and it's annoyingly stupid at this point. Yeah, and I think that's out of pocket as well. Like, Danny just walks in anytime that she wants. I'm like, what are we doing at this point? Kelly says, right, Haley, girl, show show us your till card, damn it. It's like 5 minutes of this dance so done, bro. Well, the thing is, Ron, um, Ridge really didn't give them their blessing, right? And honestly, to tell you the truth, I think this whole Luna story is just kind of it's dumb. It's dumb. Now she's up. Now she has all this. Now she has all this issues with Okay, I was gonna say this. Now she has all these issues with Electra talking about, oh, I just don't like her, and she always is so perfect. And I'm like, it's like you're just making up shit that you don't like about it at this point. Like, it's just dumb. Starlight says Luna always says she's a changed woman. Yo, here's the thing. You know when Sheila is telling you to slow your roll, you know you got a problem. You know you got a problem. When Sheila is there telling you to slow your roll, you got a fucking problem. Wink says Sonny has gotten to be wise, seeing different perspective. In his younger days, he'll be crashing out. You're right. You're absolutely right. But like I said, going back to what you call it. Uh, Lois is not having a good day, and on some level, what the hell I was gonna sit there and say. Olivia was kind of out of pocket. Olivia was kind of out of pocket today, talking about, well, Lois didn't tell the secret, like she kept it a secret because, you know, she wanted to be stingy with Gio and she didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like she wanted Gio all for herself. I'm like, okay, Olivia, I get that you're upset, but like, it's kind of dumb. This is really, really dumb. Aaron says the actress playing Luna is filming for a pilot on Prime. She's out there. She's out there. Oh shit! But I'd be interested if she. What if she leaves the show? Would they replace her? If this pilot kind of takes off, I don't know. That may be bye bye. It's amazing that you can have an actor on the show for a little bit, and then if they get a better offer, they're done. And that just puts the studio in so much issues. Having a gun and she's going to take. Oh, I didn't see that preview. I saw a preview. Yeah, I didn't see that preview. I remember her saying to Sheila, like, Steph needs to be eliminated. And Sheila was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are we doing? And Langston says, can I everyone celebrate my. Let me take a screenshot of that. Have a good night. Just take a second. Hi, Shaw, you're on. Okay. Janice says she will be tough to be replaced. Maybe. Ed said, don't watch BNB, but did see Sheila telling Lou to fall back. Again, Ed, when Sheila is being the rational one, you know there's a problem, Ed. You know there's a problem. Now, Tommy says, Janet Z, what you doing for your birthday? Ryan says, if I was Michael, I would start calling Nina, Madeline, just to piss her off. Nina's worst fears is being like her mother, and she become just like her. Okay. Exactly. Yeah. Wing says Sheila has grown to still batshit crazy, but she respects Ben's boundaries. 20 years ago, she pretended to be Steffi's nanny in disguise. Wow. Tommy says, "What's Martin's secret?" I have no idea. Like I can't even guess it, Tommy. I really can't. Usually, I can guess. I can guess some stuff. I can't even guess it. Who is that guy at the club? What guy? You mean the guy that was gonna put down, or was gonna sit there and talk to Bill, but then Martin shoot him away? What guy are we talking about? Starlight says something tells me Daphne is going to show up at Hope and Carter's wedding. That'd be interesting. Domex says, I'm not sure if you saw my earlier comment, but the new Rachel on Days has already been casted as one of the leads in a Netflix pilot, so we might not even keep her out. Oh shit. That's kind of on point. That's kind of on point for Days though on some level though. Because you know they be you know. But I guess it's kind of typical for soap opera star, right? Domex, like it happens a lot more than we think. Link says, how did you like Martin daydream about fighting Bill? It was interesting, but it felt like Twilight in a sense. Like it was like, oh man, this is really good. And then they did that, and I'm just like, really? I was just like, really? Like that was just so disappointing, you know? What about you, Wink? Ariana says, not sure, hoping Carter will go to a wedding. You know, Ariana, I'm still surprised that she said yes. I'm still surprised that she said yes. Island says all Michael needs to do to win custody is to get a physician to evaluate Willow and Drew's relationship. Okay. And as says, I like how Ned handled Lois, and both Lois and Olivia said out of pocket things, but it was a good scene. Well, particularly Olivia. Olivia kind of did to some extent, you know. Ned, I understood where Lois is coming from a little bit. I did get where Ned was coming from, but with Olivia, Olivia was kind of in her feelings, right? So when she started saying things like, "Oh, you're just being selfish about hogging a grandchild or whatever," it was like, "What are you talking about?" And then I also don't think that Hope and Carter will get married. Tomac says yes. The younger actors don't last long. Remember, Soap gave us Sarah Michelle Gellar, Michael B. Jordan, Chadwick Boseman, and other young characters. Yeah, I remember them. I mean, I wasn't watching the show at the time, but Happy Night Tanya. Tanya says the actor who played Martin said that all of our theories are all wrong. We have no idea what is in the head writer Michael or Michelle replied truth. Yes, Happy Night Tanya. And that's the part that's the part that annoys me a little bit, is that Dante was sitting going on Lulu harder than Brooklyn. And I'm like, that's just really out of pocket. Like, hell, if it wasn't for Lulu, you wouldn't even have actually known. So, like, why are you going to sit there and get so upset with Lulu? Kelly says Michael's going to have to play dirty now, Nina. Well, yes, yes. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the Michael that is done since they're being nice, done playing fair, and done dealing with other people's shit. That's the Michael that I want to see. And I think that's the Michael we're gonna get. Did you saw how he answered that door? And of course Willow was all like, Oh well, can we find a way to sit there and be amicable and work things out? You didn't want to be amicable before when you had the kids. You want to sit there and give Michael some bullshit ass schedule and then thinking that shit was okay. Yeah, but think about it though, Dominic. Like I get that the truth came out badly, but you have to sit there and remember if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't even have he wouldn't even actually know. Taiwan says new name for Sasha, my new name. Versace, not a heifer, my new what the fuck are you talking about, bro? I knew I was gonna regret that. Like she was Ron says, do you think that when Luna is about to take out Steffi and Sheila shows up that she's just going to take them both out? I don't know. I have to sit there and take a look at the scene. I didn't actually see the scene. I didn't see the scene you were talking about, Ron. Apparently you saw a different scene than me, so I have no idea. I didn't stop. Solomon says, I have a feeling Danny's going to lose it again. Couldn't couldn't you imagine seeing her with an axe in her hand chasing after Bill in his car on the road trying to slash tires? No. But that sounds like a funny cartoon skit though. That sounds like a funny cartoon skit or you have a really good imagination. Taiwan says Versace is the heifer because she kidnapped her best friend daughter and slept with her best friend husband, even though she knew that she was her best friend and I kissed another man. Didn't. Yeah, I can see that, Ryan. I can see that. I can see that. I hope you don't take my kids. Remember she said that? I hope you don't take my kids. Your kids. You mean our kids. Freddie says, but Dante should be more pissed when Brooklyn didn't give him a chance when they had that summer romance. Um, if he wasn't ready to take on responsibility as a father. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's the choice. It's the lack of choice. It was good, Deluxe. And you know, it's funny. That's what I said. Have a great evening, guys. Have a good night. Have a good night, Dolomedics. Um, and Cat Lady says, Kaiwan. Um, Kaiwan is English your second language? Solomon says, no, I don't think you should put it past Daniel to do something like that. We all know. You know, that's true. She did actually, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, well, she did come in with a croquet bar and a pew pew. That's very true. Oh, wink, wink, wink. It says Drew is Willow's handler at this point, and I hope Michael tells Willow to tell Drew I said hi and get off my mother's property. I would have sat there and said, "Get off my goddamn property." Is what I would have said. "What's good, Jonathan?" I'm like, "Yo, get off my goddamn property." But like I said, the look on his face, said it all right there. Like, oh shit, Freddie's doing reviews. Okay, what's good, Jonathan? Oh no, Freddie, I was just joking. Um, no, no, Freddie, I was just joking. No, sweetheart, I said that I was joking. I know exactly what I said. I said I was joking, my love. Such a little baddie. Johnson says, "Well, Nina knows that Michael is the father of Sasha's baby." Yep, yes, she does, and we're just not there talking about that too. So that's going to be. But no, Jonathan. The question is, are you liking Roy as new Michael so far? That's my question. Are you liking Roy as new Michael? Johnson, yes, he's doing good as new Michael. Yeah, he is. Like I said, and I know that I just like to repeat myself like three goddamn times. Oh, what's good, Monique? Ariana says, as you said, Albert, this is the Michael we deserve. Yes, this is the Michael we deserve. This is the Michael we've been waiting for a long effing time. What's good, DD? This is the Michael that we deserve. Monique says, new Michael, Gabe Willow. I was like, this is the Michael I needed when he took it. Yes, there we go. Yes. What's good, DD? Let's everyone welcome DD. Someone says, and I can't believe that Danny's sanctimonious ass had the nerve to scold Ted like he was a child for his affair with Leslie, especially since she enabled Bill affair for years and was fine with it. Hmm. Monique says Nina's the wrong person to find out about Sasha and Michael. And like I said, it's going to cause some definite tension, because Sasha is like a daughter to Nina. So if you expose Michael, you're going to expose Sasha as well. And she's going to wind up losing, eventually, she's going to losing Willow. So, like, you're going to lose essentially both of your daughters because you're a dingbat. That's my whole thing. You're going to lose both of your daughters because you're a goddamn dingbat. That's the bottom line. Jonathan, what did you think of Days of Our Lives? Does anyone here actually watch Days of Our Lives? I'm just kind of curious. No, wait. No, wait, what? Exactly, Freddie. As says Michael's the man with the plan, emergency custody, and he hasn't even been on screen for weeks. Yes, this exactly, and like I said in my review, this is the calculating, um, strategic Michael. You know, Wing says I just started watching Days again. I don't like Sarah and Stephanie. Yes, that's and then yeah, you're right on track. Um, Sarah Sarah's an idiot. Um, and hmm, Stephanie's just kind of annoying in a sense. You know how you just run across certain people in life, Wayne, where their personality just is somebody that you can't rock with. You don't think that they're an evil person, but you know that you couldn't be in a room with them for more than 5 minutes without losing your shit. That's how Stephanie is. And with Sarah's just a goddamn idiot. Like you knew, you know exactly. Nixon Falls, the pizza party. Dee Dee said Nina needs to record Drew talking about their sleeping together and how he covered up. Otherwise, Drew will flip it and say Nina is just jealous. Hmm. Yeah, the thing is, Ed, I mean, they are. I'm just so not looking forward to it. And Johnson says Rachel just threw Johnny under the bus. Well, not on purpose, but yeah, I don't. I guess so. Wink says, "Yeah, Rosemary's not a bad person, but somebody I won't, someone I want talk. Oh, somebody you don't want talking to. Yeah, yeah, and I get that. Yeah, but hey, at least y'all stay. Oh, to cover up Ron's scam. Okay, yeah, because you still think that Rachel did it. I got you, Jonathan. I got you. But yeah, I don't think that that's the. Not that we're naming names, but I don't think that's the only person that kind of rubs you the wrong way, Wayne. Yes, you saw that, right? Like the reflex. Like he did it out of a reflex. And the thing is, this isn't one of those things where I could sit there and weigh in and be like, maybe Johnny, you should sit there and kind of forgive your father. Maybe you should sit there and give him another chance, stuff like that, because you know how I feel about that, right? Like I feel like certain things are unforgivable in this world, and that's one of them. You know? Johnson says Narrowville will probably be Friday's cliffhanger. What's good, Queen Joss? You can be so starved for attention by a host. Ring says no, but like you can't be so starved for attention by a host of a stream that you disrespect someone in the chat unprovoked. Damn. Oof. Yeah, I gotta talk to them about like how that whole thing happened, but I'm sorry you had to deal with that one. Like seriously, and even in my part, what I did a while back, because the idea I was literally trying to keep the peace, and it just no, it just didn't work out. But I appreciate you being here, though. Freddie says both Lula and Maxie talk too much. First, Gio overhearing Lulu say he's Dante and Brooklyn's kid. Now Nina knows about Sasha when they stand with the mystery man. Yeah, I guess. Oh, Jess, we are just talking about people that, rub us the wrong way sometimes in streams. Or just in general. I don't even remember what where that came from, but I don't know if he was in Kyrie's stream also. Wing says no worry, just a pick me type chick. Yeah, just drama. Not in my stream though, surprisingly. You know, again, I'll sit there and say this. Me and Kyrie's has probably the most drama in our stream. Out of yes, my love, I always love drama. Always love it. You know? Just as it's always drama. Why is that? Seriously, just why is that? And not just for me, but also for Kyrie's. Why is that? Johnson says I was disappointed that the fight between Martin and Bill was just a fantasy sequence. Yes, I called it a Twilight. And if you know why I called it Twilight. Which, by the way, on a side note, I don't feel like there's going to be another Twilight movie. Too damn petty. Plus, you drink a lot. No, no, no. Twilight, like the vampire movie, Twilight. Too petty. Plus, you drink a lot. Okay. See, I know that you're joking, but I kind of wanted a real response. So why don't you try that again? Why'd you say that? What the Twilight? The Twilight. I've been there's been different channels covering it, and long story short, what I understand, and I was still waiting for your reply, but oh, you only watched the first one? Oh, so from what I understand is that the studio would love to do it if Stephanie Myers actually makes another book. So if she decides that she wants to make another book, there's a good chance that they're going to do it. But just what I want to sit there and know is why is there so much drama in me and Courage the Streams? You're too petty, plus you drink a lot and cheat. Hmm. I love you, cat lady. Ring says it's not drama, it's unhinged adults who are in the chat who can't conduct themselves with common sense. Why are you arguing with the host and members? We're here to talk soaps and have fun and relax. Very good assessment. I love it, Wink. See, you get. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. You get the reference. I'll be here for it. I'm not gonna lie, Jess. I'll be here for it. I mean, it didn't always have the best dialogue, and the special effects for the first movie wasn't really that great. But I was intrigued by the story. You know, Just said, but yeah, that was disappointing that Martin is seeing. Yes, I like the characters. Besides, listen, like yo, listen. If we didn't have Twilight, then we wouldn't have had the Vampire Diaries, and we wouldn't have had Teen Wolf. So, like, that's always gonna hold a special place. Ring said the CGI baby took me out. Why didn't they use a real baby in Breaking Dawn? I totally forgot about that shit. Like I really did. See, I was Team Jacob because Jacob was just badass. Jacob was just he was just badass. And it's weird because I like vampires more, but like Jacob's dark personality just kind of like his badass personality just showed it. God damn it, Jess! You always seem like you're always on the opposite sides. Kelly says, "Oh hell no, we already got Trina walking around looking like she can be on Twilight all that damn glitter." Johnson says, "Passion and power alert." I don't even know how to pronounce that name, but El Elado is waiting. Thank you, Jonathan. Jess says we're always on the opposite sides. Well, don't get me started. uh, Jess, you're something else. I would say that much. I can't with you. Like I really can't. Every time I sit there and think about like the Vampire Diaries, Ela Eladon, right? Eladon, yeah, Eladon. The badass side. That's right, Catley. The badass side. Ed said Jacob was a badass, but going after Bella was annoying because she didn't want him. Did she? Yeah, Jess, you gotta watch that. Jess, you gotta watch that, and then you gotta sit there and watch. Then you gotta watch the originals. That's what you gotta do, Jess. And then you can stop at the originals, Elada, right? I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it, right? Rhymes with trio. Hero? It was. It was. To this day, honestly, tell you, the truth, Ariana, it'll always be my favorite. Yeah, that's exactly how I rate it. Get Out, um, Us, and Nope. Because Nope was the worst one, Ryan. I'm just gonna be honest. It was bad. It wasn't great. I was sit there and say like it was terrible, but Johnson says, oh, "What the fuck am I doing? Hold on." Oh, Eladio. Okay. Oh, Eladio. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Eladio. Thank you, Jonathan. It just got to a point where you started doing like the whole aliens thing. Like it just wasn't really that interesting. I just wasn't. Yeah, when it got towards that, I did like Us though a lot. I liked Us a lot. Like I wish they would make a part two on Ryan. Alexandra says I definitely think Nina is going to lose Sasha once she exposed the secret. Yes, I believe that after the baby reveal, Nina's secret will get revealed and Willow will turn her back on Nina. Yeah, I do too. Yeah, that's true. Kelly. I also did like Marcel. I like Marcellus also. I did I did like the twist that spaceship was an alien. Link said Elijah was my favorite. Klaus was a great villain. You know who else was a great villain? Thank you for saying that, Area. You know who else was a great well, he wasn't really a villain. He was more like an anti-hero. Even Klaus was more of an anti-hero. Um but Damon Salvatore. Ain't that right, Jess? Lucius, yes. Lucius was another one. Yes, Ryan. That was the best one. Still will be. As said, Twilight was that movie because even the Vampire Diaries mentioned them. Yes, they did in the first season. I'm a villain. I'm a villain, Wink. I'm a villain. We're gonna get that right one day, Wink. Lucius was good though, also. And that's the thing, Jonathan. And there we go. She don't like Damon, but she likes Klaus. The original shit star, by the way. Dahlia, yes. Johnson says, "What do you think of Katharina?" I like Katharina. I liked her. Also liked her daughter too. See, Jess would know about her daughter if she actually watched the whole thing. But yeah, us no, us was actually really good. Very cool. That's right, Michael Michelson, which is a weird name. Kai was good also. Silas was disappointing. Silas was so disappointing. Um, yeah, he was just really disappointing. It's almost like they didn't even know what to do as far as making Silas. I don't think anyone actually liked Matt. The forgotten son, since essentially. What's good, Jude? Oh, nice. Okay, you do remember. What's good, Judy? It's good to see you again. Aaron says, Cyrus back in the day was awesome. It's like the thing is they didn't know what to do with him, so they just made him essentially Stephen, like a Stephen lookalike. But again, I did love the heretic storyline. I love the idea that there were witches and vampires. And yes, Kyle was actually pretty cool too. Freddie said instead of Lulu being obsessed with BLQ, Dante, and your biological family connection, she should focus more on her own children, Charlotte and Rock. Yeah, we haven't seen Charlotte at all. Just says I hated all the doppelgangers. After a while, it did start to run its course. It did. Um, Probably Deucalion. Probably Deucalion. Deucalion, I think that's his name. Even some of their stuff started to get kind of silly towards the end, you know. And Ariana says at the end it just ran out. Wink says I wanted Bonnie to end up with Damon. Such a waste of a great couple. They definitely. It's like towards the end they just didn't know what to do about. I feel like oh yes, Peter Hill. I enjoy Peter Hill. Peter, the man with the plan. Just says I wanted Damon alone. But I'm pretty sure who would you want Klaus with? Who would you want Klaus with? He didn't deserve a happy ending. What Klaus did. Shut up. What's your biggest pet peeve? I don't mean it so mean in general. About what? What's my biggest pet peeve in general? Like, what do you mean? Just as like you said, solid story. Just, like you said, it was basically just me with stuff. Anyway, it says I wanted Damon who with who he got, but his brother. Wayne says Bonnie mom married what? Hold on. Wayne says your biggest pet peeve is keeping a child from yeah, exactly. That's true, Wayne. Oof, it's kind of a long list. I don't know which one is the worst. I don't have that many, but I feel like it's kind of a long list though. You know? What's your biggest pet peeve? It's kind of a lot that's circling my head. Klaus, sir, he married Bonnie's mom from the show. In real life, I know that he's with somebody. Or he married I don't know if he married them, but like what's good, Lisa? I have Lisa. I've seen all four seasons of that show. I do that. I can't with this man. You can't with what? Baby girl, I'm literally sitting there talking to like 30 something people. But I don't understand. Yeah, I really freaking like. Lisa, what you thought of it? Keep up with like. Lisa, what you thought of it? I like season 4. I will definitely always sit there and say I like season 4. I don't know what Julian was doing with the first 3 seasons. Yeah, I don't know what she was doing with the first 3 seasons. I think she needs to kind of get back to basics personally instead of doing shit that nobody cares about. We're gonna be honest. Oh, oh, okay. Thank you, Ed. No, it was his thing. It was so long ago. Like I couldn't. Kelly says I hate legacies because I hate everything about Hope. You know, I can't actually blame him for that. And see, I know I'm spoiling for Jess since she didn't actually watch it, but you know, the sad part is that like Legacies is not really a good show, but she's the worst part of the show. Um, and plus, I'm always going to blame her for essentially her mom's death. Spoiler alert, because it was literally her fault. And before I actually had an ounce of self control, I used to argue with a bunch of idiots that would love Hope. And I'm like, you do realize that Hope is the reason why her mom is dead, right? Yes, I always blame her for that. Yeah. And then it was like in Legacy, she just totally fucking forgot about any of that. Like all the stuff that she did just didn't matter. Oh, I don't know. I never actually watched it. You remember it? Jess, did you like Elena? Jess says, speaking of Hope, I caught B&B today. Still the same bullshit. Hope and Carter are engaged. Do you think I'm? Nope. I don't think anybody in this chat is actually. Just Lisa says I kind of like Hope character. I don't. She kind of. You know the sad thing is Lisa. Her character didn't impress me until like the last season. Until the last season, her cat. You know who actually liked Lisa more than Hope? What was her name? Jonathan. What the hell was her name? Okay, Jonathan. What was her name? It wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't Hope. It wasn't Josie. What is Josie's sister's name? Lizzie. Never mind. Oh, okay. I like Lizzie the best, which is fucking sad, but thank you, Ed. Yeah, that was good. That was both of you at the same time. Alexandra says, I believe Lily is saying Willow is going to be standing there all alone when Michael, all alone when everything blows up in her face is a foreshadowing the outcome of the custody hearing. Yeah, that's why exactly why I sat there and said, like, I said that Michael was going to win. I said that that he's going to win. I says, thank you for stopping yourself yesterday from Sandra's good man. You were about to say that. Jim changed and called it a messy character. Yeah, messy character. Well, how would you have felt if I said that Drew is a good man, Ryan? Freddie says, I'm going to look forward to the day when Willow and Drew Nightmare Train is over. Yeah, but then who would you be upset with that? Now, Ariana says if Liam wasn't dying, there would be no engagement. Yeah. See, in a sense, Daphne was right, even though that I didn't like her character. You know, there wouldn't. Okay, here's the thing: there wouldn't have been no engagement. There wouldn't have been. There would have been no friendship between Steffi and Liam. What's the funny thing is though, Ryan, is that I've said things about Drew, but see, my thing with you is that even when I talk about Drew, I don't talk about them. I don't talk about him hard enough for you. That's my issue. So even when I do talk about Drew, it's not hard enough for you, right? Like I'm surprised you didn't sit there and really start coming at me sideways because you felt like I didn't roast Drew and Willow enough. So that's my thing. Jonathan actually thought Rich would mention to Hope. You immediately said yes to Carter, but you know, that would Jonathan, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. Okay, Ron. Okay. Ed says I'm Michael definitely going to win because Nina Willow and Drew was way too confident, and even Carly said joint custody. And yeah, you know, but yes, Ed, and that's my problem, right? Because Willow talking about well, Carly wanted joint custody. You know the sad thing with that, Willow agreed to joint custody. Willow agreed to joint custody. Wink Wink says I say Drew beef with Sonny and Jason is something I don't understand. Jason saved his life, and Sonny has never done anything to him. Where did this vendetta come from? Well, with hold on, with Jason, he didn't like the fact that he lost Carly because Jason came back. It's kind of petty and kind of stupid, but that's the truth of the matter. He didn't like the fact that Jason came back and Carly was going to dump him anyway. With Sonny, yeah, I don't even really remember. I know that Sonny came at Drew kind of sideways, but that's when he was, um, that's when, he wasn't on his meds. He should be upset with Carly. Yes, that's when he was off his meds. But he should be upset with Carly, right? He should have been upset with Carly. I mean, again, Carly came across as ungrateful, and I'm not letting that shit go. Oh, you only did it because you wanted to be a martyr. You know what? Honestly, to tell you the truth, I wish that he had a time machine. He had a time machine, and he decided not to sit there and go to jail for your dumb ass, and you could have went to jail for something that you actually did. Freddie says you said would I be mad? Hell no, I'll be celebrating because once they delusion of happy ever after is destroyed, I'm going to be so happy because I'm sick of those two idiots. So, okay, cool. Let's go, Freddie. That's yeah, okay. I guess it kind of makes sense. Just like I'm not gonna lie, it was hard to put in the words when I did my review, but like the way the scene goes, just like well, well, why don't you tell me how did you figure out what? I mean, you just as I just don't get how Nina figured out Sasha slept with Michael. I mean, it made sense in the scene, so it is weird. It made sense in the scene. I can't sit there and re-say it, but it made sense in the scene though. There you go, Freddie. Alexandra said I saw a rumor on X that the actress that played Willow may be out due to behind the scenes drama with Nancy. Oh shit. Nancy Lee Grande, there we go. She sat there and she just chased off another person because of her craziness and inability to sit there and sit her ass down and go and find a man. Just as it just didn't make sense how she got to that conclusion. It's that's the thing. It's the way that she explained it because okay, walk me sideways. Kelly says because she asked Maxie when it happened. Aaron says I'm glad Gio finally got a storyline. It took like about a year and a half, right? Johnson says today was the first episode where Johnny flat out denied EJ's shooting. That's it. I swear he actually did that a while ago. Just as Maxie said it was at a random it was at a random it was random at just as Maxie said it was a random at the bar. Ryan says, "Oh wait, I didn't know you didn't like Nancy Run as a person." I, my thing is, right, is that she doesn't know how to respect other people's viewpoints, right? So, like, here's the thing: I'm not saying Nancy got to agree with whatever somebody's political viewpoint is, but she needs to be respectful, and she doesn't know how to do that. And what she tends to do is she tends to make General Hospital a very toxic work environment. Seriously, it's all Sasha's fault. That's my issue. Johnson says, "Do you think EJ will get the votes to buy the hospital?" Probably now. Probably now only because Xander is is a suspect. If that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be able to tell you. Ariana says, "I can't stand her. She has no boundaries, and that's exactly Ariana. That's my thing. That's my thing. That's my thing. She does it. She does right, and the problem is she does that with her coast. And the thing is, she once sat there and said, "I'm not making this shit up." She once sat there and said that she's going to out people that didn't vote for who she voted for. Okay, I want you to think about that, Ryan. She's going to out people who didn't vote for who she voted for. I don't give a shit about your political views, but you don't have the right to sit there and start putting a target on your coworkers' backs because you disagree with what they said. That's my issue. She's 70 something years old. Just like sit your ass down somewhere. You doing too much. And that's what I mean by making a toxic work environment. Ed says Danny is a hypocrite when it comes to Bill and Haley and her conversation with Chelsea when she slept with Andre, who and Haley's. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, that's actually really good, Ed. I didn't think about that. Thank you, Ed. Just screenshot that. Hold on. That's actually kind of good. That's actually pretty good. What's good, Kevin? Thank you. I did not sit there and think. And the thing is, Ed, she went on like a 20-minute fucking rant. She went on a 20-minute rant about that. And, granted, I'm just like watching it like, let's see what's in this. Oh, interesting. That's what I said, Jess. I was like, I would sit there and say, Ed is my other ace for a reason. Just says Danny is just so over the top. Yeah. First of all, how do you want to sit there and have your daughter walk in and start talking over her for like the first 3 minutes? Okay. Wake says something about the editing. When Chelsea finally got a chance to sit there and breathe and talk, the first thing that she sat there and said was, Haley's pregnant. If you notice, there was no editing point. It was just like, Haley's pregnant commercial. I know I'm not the only person that saw that show. Because I sat there, was like, I was waiting for her to get some sort of surprised look on her face or something. It wasn't there. It was not there. It's like the editing problems just still continues. It just still continues. What the? Kelly's is also with Tracy, who thinks Gio can get her to not go after Sonny. Now that he is her great grandson, he got the power, kind of. Maybe it's just me, but like I kind of just didn't really care that much about the scene with Gio and Emma on the bridge. Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, well, what are you going to do? You're going to live on the streets? So you're going to go back to Bensonhurst? Like, what are you going to do? What are you gonna stay with Emma on the dorms or something like that? Like she doesn't even like where are you going to go? That's my whole thing. Okay, you went to the bridge to clear your head. You're like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. You're not gonna stay there all night. You're going to go somewhere. So what is it that you're exactly going to do? That's my question. But very good point, Ed. Alexandra says Nina is throwing away the only person that has truly cared for her through everything for her daughter that doesn't even care about her, only wants her around when she agree, yeah, or when she needs something, yes. Ryan says, and Nancy's defense about the Inglegate, I think Nancy was upset because she felt like he was putting them all at risk. But the thing is, the problem is, just that, yeah, he has no plan. Yeah, I mean, I get taking a break, but I'm like, bro, you're going to have to go back home at some point in time. Are you going to stay at the boathouse all night? Like, I think that's what his ass is going to want I'm doing. But the thing is, Ryan, have a night, Ed. Thank you for joining. Kelly says he can't come up with a plan that fast, Albert. Did I not tell you how much I love you, cat lady? Did I not tell you that? But I feel like I tell you that every day. Oh, badass. But the thing is, Ryan, he wasn't putting people in danger. I don't want to sit there and get too deep into that medical stuff, but vaccine don't protect you. It doesn't protect from transmission. So she was upset that he didn't take it. And I'm like, well, that's his body. You don't have to agree, but you're not going to sit there and say it's putting anyone in danger if you don't know how that actually works. What you're upset with is that he's not doing something that you want him to do because that's what you're doing. That's the thing about Nancy. Nancy is about control. And that's my issue that I have with her. She wants everybody to be on her page. So this wasn't about putting people at risk because it doesn't stop you from transmitting it. It just mitigates the symptoms. And that's a maybe. So, I'm not going to try to really go back and forth with you, but like, if that was the case, then I would understand. Then I would have been like, okay, I get where Nancy's coming from. Nope, Ryan. The ideally the point of it was is that it got you back on your feet faster. So let's say you did get it, you wouldn't be out as long. But the problem is that it worked differently for different people. So while it may, it may work great for me, it may sit there and put you in a hospital. That's the problem with the vaccine. It didn't work the same for every person. So the idea is that it got you back on your feet faster. But what if it didn't? Then what? Harina says she's a narcissist. If you don't do what she wants or walks in line with her, she melts down and threatens. Exactly, yes. No, no, no. Well, it's fine, right? You didn't know. But have a good night, have a good night, Evelyn. No, but that wasn't the case. Trust me, if that was Ryan, if that was the case, then I would understand then I would have understood where she was coming from. But that's not the case. And that's the problem, Freddie. Is that there's people that you have to work with. You know why, Ryan? Because she's a good actor. She's a good actor. Johnson says, let's change the subject. I'm switching to Kyrie's stream. I mean, you can go to Kyrie's stream, but like Ryan was asking me a question, so I want to sit there and address him on that. Monique says, why do these men also allow the women to tell them they can't be a part of their child's life? Because, well, what's good, Cassie? Because, no, Ryan, you don't have to be sorry. You asked me a question, I want to address it. Um, for me personally, I feel like they portray men as very passive, and that's my issue, and that's why I had so much of a problem with Dante's. Um, I get that, Jonathan, but he asked a question, and I want to answer. So, but that again, like I said, that was my issue with what you call it. To be fair, it wasn't really about politics. It was just more about Nancy. I don't even know how we got into it, but anyway, like I said, that's my issue with Dante, and it felt flat. And like even today, he was just like, it was just no emotion with it. You know what it reminded me? It reminded me of like Dollar Tree Michael when he found out about the kiss. Like he wasn't mad or anything like he was mad, but he didn't sit there and really have any backbone with it. So I don't know. It's fine, right? You don't have to sit there and explain yourself. You asked me a question, I gave an answer. Point blank period. So I'd rather you didn't even explain yourself. You asked a question and it was what it was. So yeah, it was a it's a lack of passion for a soap opera. You know. And of course I saw some comment in my comment section of this one chick just kind of going off, and I'm like, it was kind of giving me vibes of somebody else that used to be in this chat and was like getting all triggered or whatever because she was a female and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, here we go. Just says Dante was a little better today. Hmm. Ariana says, I think they wrote Chad do really passive at the end so Rory could make. No, right? No. Ariana says, yeah. Um, I don't know what it was. I'm like I said, I'm just glad that we're getting. Elliot says she just subscribed to my channel. Does that person's name starts with an S, or you want to just say yes or no if that's the case? I mean, I'm not even really too surprised, unfortunately, but I'm sorry to hear that. But yeah, I like I said, soap opera. My soul child is a real soap opera. Johnson says, "Do you think Maggie and Sarah will find out what Xander did to Victor's?" I mean, eventually it will come out. I just, my whole thing is, Jonathan. I want to know why he did it. I want to know why he actually did it. I want Gio to bump into Rocco now. Yeah, because that's going to be a whole thing, right? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing though, right? Like you go back to let's say Cam, right? Like Cam is supposed to be around Michael's age, right? And of course, you got Geo. I mean, you got well, you have Michael and you have Jocelyn. No, no, no. You have Jocelyn and you have Spencer. And technically, Spencer's supposed to be older than Jocelyn. And that's simply not the case. When do you think Sitwell will make his move? Oh, that I have no idea. I can even calculate that. Like the way that these shows move, like slow, fast. It's like I can even guess. But I think it'd be interesting when he does. I would sit there and say that much. It's gonna be a hell of a show. I say that much. Like I said, I like Sitwell. It's not even, yeah, it's weird. It's more plot at this point, right? They'll age them back and forth depending on what works for the plot, not necessarily what makes sense. And they'll retcon to do it because they're just like, you know what? Listen, the soap fans are just going to go for it if it's a good story. And when it's not a good story, then we tend to notice it a lot more. I just saw a new channel that interviewed Eric Braeden. And granted, I don't think this person's even a soap person. Like they do soap opera content. It's very interesting how some of these channels want up getting these soap stars in there. But that's what I always sit there and say is plot over well, I don't exactly remember. I think it was like I used to sit there and say something like plot over common sense and logic or whatever. Freddie says Rocco and Gio should be fine. Rocco don't blame Gio for the drinking and passing out. Rocco thank Gio for helping him and yeah, but see now again it's like, Gio the relationship is definitely gonna be a lot different now. The relationship definitely gonna be a lot different now between Gio and Rocco. I know I forgot something. I'll send this to you. Guys, let me know if you're still in the chat. Preston says, do you think Kristen would use the situation with Anna and Philip to get... Yeah, it's the perfect opening, right? It is the perfect opening. So yeah, so it would make sense. So, Cat Lady, I remember Smith there saying about, your shorts and stuff and like, how you gotta be careful and stuff. But there's a channel that do their shorts just like yours. And they've been getting away with that shit for like a while. And I saw it yesterday, and I was like, "What the?" Like I'm sitting there worried about you, and the YouTube overlords coming at you. This person has been doing this shit for like years. No, I sent it to you though. Johnson says, could you see Philip and Sarah eventually? Kind of weird though, right? Like I mean, I watched the show up to a point, but like, then they kind of like grew up as like stepbrothers or whatever in a sense, right? Maggie and Victor and stuff like that living in the same house. And I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see Philip being Sarah's type. Also, I don't. It's the same with Xander. I guess I just don't see. I don't see like the dudes that she dated. Well, she dated Rex. She dated Eric, right? Brady, Bella. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a pattern of men that she's usually with. I don't know if I see her necessarily with um with Bella, but she wasn't. Okay, but she was with Eric though, right? I don't know. For me, just kind of think that he's a little too. I don't know. There's just something about him I just don't see women really, or particularly with Sarah. Like honestly, tell you the truth, I'm be honest. I don't know how Philip wound up getting with Chloe. Clearly, it didn't work, but like how he managed to sit there and get her attention, I will never know. Because it's not even so much his looks; it's just his personality. Oh shit! Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up, Kelly. But no, yeah, I just want to sit there and show you that channel because I'm like, I'm so worried about your channel and the stuff that you put on there. This person has been doing that ish for a hot minute. What's good, Jay Bloom? Yeah, I'll join you in a minute. I'll join you in a minute, my love. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but like, I don't know. There's just a certain. I mean, I know the guy got looks, but like, there's just something personality wise that I don't know. But that's just me. Ryan says I'm following Michael and Sasha when they stand coming out to come see her as long as everything else comes in. Yeah, we'll talk more about that tomorrow, though. Anyway, I'm gonna sit there in the stream here. I don't want to sit there and be up too late and just have everything just kind of just drag moving forward. But anyway, I'm gonna end the stream here. Have a good night, Ryan. Have a good night, Jay Blue. Have a good night, Blackmon. Have a good night, Queen Jess. Have a good night, Queen Janet. Have a good night, Jonathan. Have a good night. Oh yes, Queen of the South. Johnson says, Jonas says, time for another edition of Soul Cabin without a Bostic. Jonathan, make sure you check your email. I gotta send you something. Um, have a night, Blackmon. Have a night, Jay Blue. Johnson says, good night and hit the like button. Yes, hit the like button. It really does actually help. And Anybody else who I missed, you know who you are. Happy night, Black Mite. Anybody else who I missed, you know who you are. And I will see you in the next stream. Laters. Happy night, Freddie.